Hey everybody, welcome back to Selena's Corner. So today is Palm Sunday, which means next weekend will be Easter. So I promised that I would do some sugar eggs and also some marshmallows. I want to do some peeps or imitation peeps. So I have gotten everything out because the egg whites have to be at room temperature for the royal icing that we'll be making that'll cement our Easter eggs together, our sugar eggs together, and also I'll use that to make the flowers that'll go on the inside and on the sides to make the eggs look pretty and decorative. So a tip about royal icing, and I've already done this just to save time, is that everything that touches royal icing has to be grease and oil free. It will break down your royal icing and it will not hold together. It will never set up the way it's supposed to for decorations and that sort of thing. So for like borders and flowers and leaves, the icing needs to be stiff. For writing or for outlining, like on cookies, like Christmas cookies, like or gingerbread men or something like that, that line needs to be medium consistency. And then if you want to fill that in with royal icing, like a colored icing, like for stockings or anything like Christmas ornaments or something like that kind of cookie that you're making for Christmas. And you can do this with any kind of cookie that you would like to make, like for baby showers or weddings or birthdays, just anything. But if you're going to use that icing to fill in or flood your design, you want it to be thin consistency. So I make it stiff and take out what I need, and then I thin it to the consistency I need for the other things afterwards with little drops of water. Not a whole lot of water. Start with drops at a time, because you can make it thinner, but you can't make it thicker. I mean, once you've accepted royal icing, and it will set up really fast too. So you'll need to work quickly and cover your container that's got your royal icing in it with either a damp paper towel or with a tight sealing lid for your containers. So, and another thing you can do is you can use like a damp towel. You can drape a damp towel over it if you're going to use one particular consistency and one particular color for a lot of things. You can drape a damp towel over it, and in between filling up your decorator bags, you can just keep the damp towel or damp paper towel over it. And if you're going to like use it tomorrow, I'm going to make it today, but we probably won't use it for hours and hours and hours. And I'm also going to make different colors for the leaves and for the different colored flowers that I want to put on my sugar eggs. Can't even think. We're also going to make some peeps, and we're going to make some chocolate marshmallow filled candy, which I like. So I want my marshmallows to be caramel flavored today, and you actually can make your marshmallows plain for like that's what I do with the snowflakes for Christmas, and for the mini marshmallows that I made for the chocolate bombs. I just regular flavor. I didn't add anything to them. But I could have added peppermint maybe, so that I had peppermint chocolate bombs. I could have added. You want to use these liquid concentrated flavors. Like here I have pina colada, and they're little tiny bottles because they don't take much at all. I already had some strawberry and some root beer, I think. Butterscotch, cherry. Let's see. Over here I got caramel flavor, and I think I also have some cream cheese flavor. And I like to add that to frosting, like my frosting recipe that I make. I like to add it to that if I'm making a red velvet cake or a carrot cake. And that way I don't have to use regular cream cheese, because when you use ingredients like that, your frosting will go bad quicker. And the frostings that I don't use milk and I don't use butter, I just use water, so that my frosting can actually sit out on the table for longer periods of time without going bad or going rancid. As usual, I've measured out everything really quickly so we could move along. So these are some of the Easter egg molds that I have, and this is actually a chocolate mold here, and it like clips together like that. So if I wanted to make a hollow egg, for instance, or I wanted to make a solid egg, I could do that too. So, or I could use it for what I'm making today, but I don't really want to make this one today. I want to make a chocolate egg out of this. But right here, there's like a cutout, so I could just like I could cut that out. I could hollow out the inside and then cut that out, so I would have an opening here. So I would have a really pretty sugar egg. See, all those designs are on the mold. I'm going to use these today. I'm just going to make 2 small ones. And they also have little designs where you can make like chocolate bunnies or eggs or ducks, grass, you know, stuff like that. If you really, really want to dig deep into this, you could paint different colored chocolates in here, or even different colored sugars, but they have to dry in layers. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use something else that I found that I thought was really cute. If I can find it. Oh, it's right here in front of me. I found these little Easter candies. It's a 4-pack at the Dollar Tree. They look like sweet tarts, and they come in different colors: pink, purple, green, yellow, and ducks, chicks, and bunnies. And they're small, like I want for my eggs. I think they're going to be the perfect size. And then instead of using tinted coconut for inside my eggs for my grass, I'm going to use Easter basket grass. And what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of this out, and I'll chop it up into smaller pieces with a pair of scissors, so that when I put my royal icing in here, it'll stick to it better for my background. Alright, so that's one. And then this is another one, and this one has a flat side on it here. So it actually has a guide where I can cut out the center here, and it's actually made for making chocolate eggs so that it sits on the base like that. But I'm doing it a little bit differently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as a guide for hollowing out the center of my egg today. And then I'm going to make this base so that my egg sits up like this after I do the royal icing. So that's how I'm going to do it today. So I'm not going to use this mold either. So I'm going to make this one today. And I'll actually make it twice. And I can actually take it and I can put it sideways on this base too. So I'll make both of the bases, and I'll make 2 of these. And I'll use this as a guide for the opening of my sugar egg. And then this will be the background, so my scene will go inside here so that you can plug through it. So that's what I'm going to do with those today. So some of the things that we'll need some cardboard to turn our eggs out onto. And I might might still use this other one. I might still use this one. I might still use that, and I'll just make the opening around it a little bigger, and I'll put that on. So I'll put one on one base and one on the other base. I'll make both of my bases, and then I'll use both of these. So these have never been used, so I didn't have to worry about washing them, and I'm not making them out of chocolate, so I don't have to polish the molds. But if I was using them to make chocolate with, I would polish the molds with that soft cloth that I use. Also, I think maybe later in the week what I'll do is I'll make some, I haven't been able to find them in a really long time. Some, you can find the peanut butter eggs, the peanut butter filled eggs, you can cut them up and eat them. But I have not been able to find the coconut ones, like Mounds bars, for a very, very long time. I really cannot remember the last time I saw anyone sell these with coconut in them. So maybe what I'll do, there's 6 of them. So maybe what I'll do later this week, maybe tomorrow, is I'll do some peanut butter and coconut filled eggs in these, and I'll do half peanut butter and half coconut filled eggs, and then we'll have chocolate filled eggs for Easter. So that'll be a nice treat. Don't need this one either, so I will put those to the side. And I'm going to use these 2 today, and I'm not going to use these until later. But what I have is, these are actually ice cube molds, and this is a candy mold. But as you can see, they're flexible silicone, so I can use it for whatever I want to, and that's what I'm going to do. So this one has little Easter baskets, Easter bunnies, and Easter eggs on it. And I'll paint these molds, and then I'll fill them with the caramel marshmallows, and then I will cover it with chocolate. I will seal it up just like I did those filled chocolates that I made at Christmas. And here we got some little bunny butts, bunny feet. And then here we got some neat little Easter bunny heads. They're really cute. They got little flowers on them. It's male and female, so one has a flower for the female and one has a bow tie for the boy. So I will do those with marshmallows. So I'll do the chocolate. I already have the chocolate melted over here, and I'll put those in the refrigerator when we get ready to do our marshmallows, because I want the chocolate already set, and I will do these first. I'll put them right back into the freezer so that the warm marshmallow doesn't melt my chocolate, and I'll put extra chocolate on them. And then these are what I'm going to use for our marshmallow peeps. Right. So we really don't need any of those for right now. We're going to do the marshmallows after we do the sugar eggs, because the sugar eggs have to sit and dry for a while. So we'll do this first. So this really isn't royal icing here. I have all of this set aside for the royal icing that I'm going to use to do the flowers, and I'll do the flowers and they can be drying while we're doing the marshmallows, because those have to be hard. We can't handle them until they're completely dry to put them on and in our eggs. So we'll do that last. So we'll set these out. We only need these molds long enough to press the sugar down inside with. And I actually thought I had everything out, but I do not. I need to get out my scraper real quick, so I can scrape it across the top. These marshmallows. So we can scrape across the top of the sugar. Make sure it's nice and flat. And wash it out right quick. I haven't used it in a while. This is just in the drawer. I'll make sure it's all nice and dry. Alright, so as usual, I will put a link in the description for the recipes that I'm using today, and we'll use this once we fill that up and make sure it's pressed down really well. We'll scrape across the top. Okay, and I'm going to color the sugar, and I'm going to do half of it. Where did that come from? I'm going to do half of it purple, and I'll do half of it a pale yellow. So when we're coloring things like this, we want to use a paste color and a toothpick, because you have to remember that food coloring is another one of those things. It's like salt. You can put it in, but you can't take it out. Okay? So a little bit at a time, little bit, until it's the color that you want. And you have to remember that when it comes to colors like this, that when they dry, they're going to be darker. So you want it a little bit lighter than you actually want your final product to be. So I'm also going to take some out for my bases, because I think I'm just going to have my bases be white. So I'll do the bases first, and then I'll divide up the sugar, and then I'll color it, and then we'll put it into our molds and we'll turn them out so they can begin to dry. And while they're drying, we'll do our marshmallows, because the marshmallow has to dry for 4 hours minimum before we can turn them out and dip them in sanding sugar. And these are the colors I got. I got pink and green and purple, yellow, and blue. So we'll use this when we do the peeps, the little bunnies. And I also thought about I could do these too. They're like iridescent spring sprinkles. They're really cute, so I might try to see if some of these will stick to the bunnies. Alright. So all that stuff basically is going to be for the marshmallows. So let's see what we got color-wise. I said I wanted to do, that's a lemon yellow, that's a violet. Let's see what colors I got on here. So burgundy, brown, a copper, pink, black. We definitely don't want that for spring. I have a golden yellow. We have a teal. So let's do the yellow and the lemon yellow and the violet. We'll put these back. I wonder if we should do the base in a different color, maybe green. Let's just do white, because it'll be pretty. If we need to dress it up at all, we'll dress it up with the royal icing. So the first thing we're going to do is okay, so I need to tell you what we need first. That might be helpful in case y'all want to work along with me. We need 1 large egg white, okay, and we need 3½ cups of granulated sugar. It said that food coloring is optional, but remember, if you're going to use food coloring to color your sugar, then you need to use paste food coloring. Liquid will water it down, so you don't want to use that. And that set that I got, I don't even remember how much it cost, but it was really cheap. It's like $10 at Walmart, and that, trust me, $10 for that many colors is very inexpensive. And okay, so 3½ cups of granulated sugar and ½ cup of confectioner's sugar. So it says to gather all the ingredients and the panoramic egg mold, and that's what these are. Okay, we're going to have a base. If you don't have, and I think I actually got these from Global Sugar Art. I'm not sure, but I'll look and see where I got them, and I'll link to where I did purchase these. Might not have been Global Sugar Art, but I'll just say that that is probably where I got it, because that's where I got the idea to do these. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to whisk our egg white until it starts to be frothy. And it says if you would like to color your egg, that now's a good time to add that food coloring. And it says add the food coloring to the egg white and mix well. Note that you will be adding a lot of sugar to the egg white, so it's a good idea to dye the white a darker color than what you desire your final product to be, because basically it's saying that this is going to dilute the color down because there's so much sugar in here. But I'm going to add my color afterward because I want more than one color. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to mix my sugar first. Then I'm going to make my base molds because I'm going to make them white, and I'll just dress them up with flowers and leaves and that sort of thing with the royal icing. And then I'm going to divide it up, and I'm going to add the color for my egg molds. Okay? So you can do it either way. Alright? So it says in a large bowl, whisk together the granulated sugar and the confectioner sugar until they're evenly mixed. And I actually got, hold on one second. I actually got these, this new whisk set from Pampered Chef this week, and I really love them because they're so small. Let me go ahead and open those up. I'm going to use the bigger one. Aren't those neat? I love the way they just fit right into your hand. I'm going to set this over here. I don't need it for anything. I'll put the scissors back. You know how I am. I put the scissors back and then I need them and I don't know what I've done with them. Alrighty. So this is my ½ cup of confectioner sugar. This is my 3½ cups of granulated sugar that I already measured out. And it says to mix them and whisk them together until well combined. So even if you don't celebrate Easter, you might be crafty and you might like to make these for somebody who does. You might know somebody who collects ceramic eggs, you know, like Fabergé eggs. Not everybody can afford a Fabergé egg, but you can give them to somebody who might just collect pretty things. Because these are not intended to eat. These are going to be rock cement solid hard. These are not meant to eat. That's why we're using basically frost icing and egg whites that are going to dry super hard. The royal icing will be our cement to hold this all together. Alrighty. So I think I pretty much got it all mixed together. Alrighty. So now we're going to mix the egg white until it's frothy. And it says to pour the egg white into the sugars and begin stirring. At first it will seem like there's not enough liquid, but keep stirring. We want this to be like wet sand. That's what we're going for. That's the consistency we're going for. It's wet sand. So I'm going to mix my egg white until it's frothy. And I got my smaller hand mixer here, because we're not going to be mixing this for very long. So I have my chocolate on low Alright, so it's going to get noisy. Anymore. So I'm going to put it over here out of the way. My stove isn't on, it isn't hot. So frothy. I don't know if you can see that. Grab a phone. We take a pizza. And we take pizzas along the way. Apparently we need some flash. We need a flash action going on here. Okay. Alright, so it says in a large bowl, mix together the granulated sugar and the confectioner sugar until they're evenly mixed. Pour the egg white into the sugars and begin stirring. At first it will seem like there's not enough liquid, but keep stirring, the sugar will clump together. If you squeeze it in your hand, you want the sugar to clump together when you squeeze it with your hand, but avoid adding additional liquid and making it too wet. That will just increase the drying time. Alrighty. So we're going to pour this in here. And remember, it's egg, so no finger licking over here. See, it's still got the consistency of like really dry sugar. And I like these bowls because they're clear, so you can see what I'm doing here. Just keep mixing. Mix and mix and mix. So you want it to be the consistency of wet sand. Make sure you dig down to the bottom. It's all clumpy. Just keep going. I remember seeing these when I was a kid. They were kind of expensive too, so it's another one of those things that, it's kind of expensive, so let's see if we can make it ourselves. Just keep going. Make sure we got all that sugar mixed in. Okay. So it's not clumping together quite yet. So it looks like it's starting to hold the shape of the spoon as I'm stirring, so let's be getting there. Just keep going. Just keep going. We're getting there. Yes, my hands are clean. You know I clean before I start. Keep going. This is one of those things that it's kind of labor intensive, but it's the end product is really, really worth the effort. I mean, what's the point of doing something, if you don't put a lot of effort into it? I like easy stuff too. Yes, I do easy stuff. Alright, so that's holding together now. I'm just going to stir it a couple more times just to be sure. I don't see any more lumps. And it really is holding the shape of the spoon as I stir. So I feel like we're really getting to it where we can use it. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to do the bases first. And we're really going to want to press this down in here really, really hard because we want it to hold together. We want it to dry and hold together. And I'm going to get my cardboard out because I'm going to need that to turn it over on once I get it, so it can dry. I'm going to move this out of the way. Won't need these till later. Alright, so I think my sugar mixture is ready. I'm going to go ahead and start filling my little mold. Make a mess. I mean, what would one of my videos be without me making a mess? Right? Alright. Really, 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 really going to press it down in there. It's holding together, so that's nice. We just got to make sure we stir it long enough that it holds together. And add some more if you need to, because you really, really, really want to press that down in there so it fills all those little crevices in your mold. We're just going to scrape it back into the bowl anyway, so it goes right to the edges. Now I'm going to use my scraper and I'm going to scrape this across the bottom, just like that. Carefully turn it around and just scrape it right back into the bowl so we have a nice, even bottom. Yeah, so I need to clean that up. Alright, and we're going to turn it over. Carefully lift the mold off. Just like that. You ever notice that every time I say something that's really easy that, yeah, it's not? I'll put that over there out of the way. I'm going to scrape this into my hand. I don't want ants in the house. I will run the little robot vacuum afterwards. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse out this this bowl, and I'm going to use it for one of the colors. Paper towel to dry it out with, because we want it to be dry. Dry, 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 dry. Squeaky, squeaky clean. Because remember, we don't want to add any extra moisture to that sugar, because it'll take it longer to dry. Make sure it's nice and clean. It's all squeaky clean. Dry that too. Some stuff in trash. Alrighty. So I'm going to divide it up. That's about half and half. Yeah, so it looks like I got 2 cups in here, about 2 cups in here. Put a little bit of that back in. Alright, so now I'm going to color. I'm just going to use a small spoon for that one. So I'm going to do this one yellow and this one purple. not used this color before, so it's kind of hard to get it open. I'm just going to peel that back a little bit because I'm going to just like put that little flap right back down after I'm done. And when I say a tiny bit, I seriously mean a tiny bit. Alright. Because remember, you can put it in, but you can't take it out. I'm just going to rest that across there. Start mixing up my color. And because it's a gel color, it's going to take a little time to get it to work all the way through. Because it's still a little clumps, like when I first added it to my sugar. Back and forth, just working in. Make sure you get down to the bottom. And I just wanted a pale spring yellow, like a duckling down yellow. So we got little clumps of coloring in there. Starts to say sugar. Just keep working, keep working. Keep working. That color all worked in there. And remember, it'll dry darker. Just keep going, keep going. Well, it's all up in there. I don't see any more yellow streaks or any more yellow clumps or anything like that from the gel color. You see? Pretty pale yellow. That's all I needed. Alright, so I think I'm going to do this one in the yellow. Came with 2 little pieces of cardboard. Bring this over here. Press it down, press it down, press it down. And we're only going to let these dry for maybe a couple of hours. And I would not make these on a day when there's a lot of humidity in the air, because if there's a lot of humidity in the air, same with the marshmallows or divinity, if there's a lot of humidity in the air, it will take them forever to dry. And I already live in a humid climate, so yeah. Press it down, press it down really, really hard. And it's starting to come out of the mold, so I obviously have pressed it down enough. So now I'm going to scrape across the top of it, put my little cardboard on it, and I'm going to turn it out, like so. Get this one. There's 2 for a reason. They are not shaped the same. One is the front and one is the back. That one's got a little indentation on it, which shows you that it's the front. Now here's a little trick. If you didn't get all the color mixed in, you can actually cover that up with a decoration. A little leaf or flower, a little scrolling. Press it down, press it down. And it's really holding together now because it's sliding around in that mold. Press it down, press it down. little bit up here. Like so. Get my little scraper. Scrape across the top of it here. Right back into the bowl. Like so. Turn it over. And lift my little mold up. That's pretty. Those are going to make some nice eggs. I'm going to put this over here to the side. Now, when I get ready to clean these, I actually will not clean them with anything but water. Sort of like birds. You don't wash their dishes with anything but water. Don't need this anymore. Grab a drink of tea right quick. If anybody ever wants to know how I make my tea, just let me know, and I will give you my little recipe. Don't need this anymore. Put the top back on so it doesn't dry out. Alright. Well, we're going to do the same thing with the purple, the violet. A little tiny bit is all it's going to take. I've not used most of these colors before. I think I used them to make a flag cake, red, white, blue flag cake. Kind of like that checkerboard cake that I made for Christmas. I made a flag cake for 4th of July. Alright, if you have difficulty getting these open, if you don't want to pop your nails off, mine are just press on. You can just like use a knife. And be careful if you're using a sharp knife. I think I actually got some color on that, so I'll fix this thing. So remember, just a little tiny bit. That's all it's going to take. Because we want it to be a pastel purple. I'm sure I say that and I can't get it out. Little teeny tiny bit. So it won't come out, so there must be a reason for that. So I'm just going to take that as divine intervention and not add any more. And I'm just going to set my little toothpick across the top here so it doesn't stain up my counter. And we're just going to mix and mix and mix until we don't see any more globs of the color. Remember, we're just doing a pastel color. We don't want it dark because it's going to dry darker than it looks. Now remember, with the sugar, you got to work fast. So as you saw, that one was already starting to set up. When I was pressing it into the mold, the second mold. Just gonna work and work and work till we don't see any more purple coloring. This is gonna be pretty. I like this. Purple's my favorite color. My tip set is really, my cake decorating tip set is really old. It's like the very first one I ever had. And of course, you know, it's missing pieces from people borrowing and using and stuff like that over the years. So I really need to get a new set. I'm going to get back into cake decorating again. I've been thinking about that a lot. I can actually, our college laws there in South Carolina will allow me to make and sell my birthday cakes without a food license. So that's always nice. Mix and mix and mix and mix and mix so we don't see any more coloring. It takes a little time to do it. Like I said, we can always cheat if we have any come out like on the outside. We'll just cover it up. icing. A little tiny bit right there. I'm going to cover that with royal icing anyway, because there's going to be a border there. Thought about buying Wilton's Ultimate Toolkit. It comes with a bunch of stuff. I can even it'll come with stuff to make fondant and gum paste flowers and stuff like that, which is something I've always wanted to learn how to do. Because you learn how to do gum paste flowers and they look real. You can sell your cakes for a lot of money if you figure out how to do gum paste flowers. A little here and there. I don't think it's really going to matter because a lot of this is going to be scraped right back into the bowl anyway. So I actually should bring that back over here. I'm not going to wet. Get rid of the spoon now. I'm going to put a top on that. So once I scrape those out, I might have enough to make another egg. Let's go ahead and fill our next mold. Get cardboard ready. And see how it's starting to hold together? Just the spoon now. And this one's got the pattern on the front where you do the cutout. Knocked it out of my hand. Alright. This is holding up nice. Squish, 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 squish. Put a little more in there. Make sure it's nice and smooth inside that mold. It's kind of coming out now. They're going to be nice. Now we're going to scrape it back into the bowl. A little bit of sugar in our little extra spaces there. I don't really need, so I'm just going to flick it out. Back to the bowl. Alrighty, now I'm going to turn this one out. Alright, so mold up. Alright, so I'll actually brush that sugar off when I get ready to hollow them out. So let's see, we need to wait a minimum of 2 hours before we try to handle them. So I'm going to tell, hey Google, can you set a timer for 2 hours, please?
2 hours, and that's starting now.
Alrighty. So I don't need my colors anymore, because we're not going to color the marshmallows. And I'm going to put a top on the sugar too. Alright. So let me just clean this up right quick. So you guys probably wondering what this side of the counter looks like, where I'm standing. So what I'll do is I'll put a picture of it in the video, so you can see what my side, my corner of the world looks like on this side. So what we can do now is I'm going to do the chocolate or the marshmallows. Let's push these up because I don't want to disturb them. Try to stand up and then I get stuck on the placemat that's right there. Okay, so I'm going to do the chocolate for these molds, and I'm not going to make a lot of these because I'm going to make them for my grandchildren, and the littlest one, he'll probably just be able to suck on it because he just turned 6 months old. I'm going to stop right here for just a minute, and I'm going to make sure I have everything ready to make the marshmallows because there's a couple things that I need to measure out for that. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to move this this part of this video over to my YouTube channel to get it uploaded because I have to upload it and then re-download it. Don't ask me why, it's just a really long story. And then I'm going to get out the stuff for making the marshmallows, okay? So we'll be right back. And remember, if you like what you see today, subscribe, like, share, comment, be nice. And I'll be right back. Hey everybody, so I'm back. One thing I did forget to show you was that we need a flat bottom on these sugar eggs so that they'll stand up nice on our stands. Even though I'm going to put royal icing to attach them to the bottom, I still need a flat edge. So I went ahead and got a really sharp knife, my little green Pampered Chef knife, that really sharp utility knife, and I cut just a little tiny bit off the bottom, and I did take a picture, so that'll be added to the video so that you can see it. So they're still drying. So you're probably wondering why I'm not using my branded KitchenAid instead of using the Black & Decker. Well, the Black & Decker has a glass see-through bowl, so I wanted to go ahead and use that, and I'm gifting this to Joshua. They bought a house, so I'm gifting this to him, so they'll have a stand mixer to use in their house. I also bought a glass bowl for my KitchenAid, so that I have that for future videos, because I like the glass so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So everything for the royal icing has to be grease and oil free. So I'm going to do the royal icing first. I'm going to color, I'm going to separate it out, and I'm going to color the icing for my flowers and for my leaves, and then I'm going to seal everything up tight, and then I'm going to put that away, and then we'll start on the marshmallows. And what I'll do before I start making the marshmallows is, and I also want a glass bowl for that so you can see how that starts coming together. It's really neat how it just like fluffs up all of a sudden. So I think I plugged in there. So for the royal icing, so I want to do the royal icing first because I've already made sure that everything was grease free, so it didn't ruin the royal icing, because it's made with egg whites and the oil will destabilize the eggs. So for royal icing we need 3 egg whites at room temperature. They absolutely cannot have any egg yolk in it at all, so make sure it's egg whites only. You can also buy a product called meringue powder and use that instead if you have a weird thing about uncooked eggs. But we're not going to eat this product. We're not eating this item. Nothing we're making for these sugar eggs is being made to be edible. So just keep that in mind. So for the royal icing, we need 3 egg whites at room temperature. We need 4 cups of powdered sugar, which I've already put in here. And powdered sugar, if the recipe doesn't tell me to sift it, I don't. So I just measured out and I went ahead and put it into the bowl. and a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and that helps to stabilize the egg whites and keep the sugar from crystallizing when it's being made. So what we're going to do with that is in a clean dry bowl of a stand mixer. You can use a hand mixer, but it will take longer than it will with a stand mixer. So, and that can be tiring. But if that's all you have, that's all you have. So go ahead and use whatever you have. Don't spend extra money. Okay, sorry about that. So I had some weird glitch. My camera just shut off. I think it was, I plugged it in, so maybe it was the battery was low because I was charging the microphone while I was doing the last part of the video. So I just plugged the camera back in. So sorry. So let's pick up where we left off. So don't buy anything just so you can follow my videos. And like I said the last couple videos, if you want to, look at the list of ingredients, gather everything that you need before we start, and cook along with me. So also, if you like what you see, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, be nice please, and that would really be great. So anyway, so it says using, we're going to place the egg whites, the powdered sugar, and the cream and tartar all into the bowl. You can buy this as a mix too, but I'm just making it from scratch because I had everything that I needed. This is a half a teaspoon of cream and tartar. So I ordered a glass bowl for the KitchenAid, so we'll be able to use that from now on so you can see what I'm making. I actually got a deal on the KitchenAid website because I registered my KitchenAid when I bought it. I have a KitchenAid grinder that I'll show you when I get my nutmeg from the Vanilla Co-op. There was a link to that, and you should keep an eye on our order forms in order when special stuff comes up. I think Uganda vanilla beans are coming up next, and wow, they are making a really nice vanilla. Those are the ones that I added to the Hornitos Black Barrel Tequila. Wow, it's really nice. Okay, so it says to beat on low speed until well combined for 3 to 5 minutes. So we're going to put on low speed for 3 to 5 minutes. And I'll be honest with you, one thing I don't like about the KitchenAid is it doesn't have a timer on it. So I will have to get a timer. And I really like this Black & Decker too. It has really been a workhorse for me. And that's why, you know, I'm going to give it to Joshua. I think that he and Kelsey will enjoy cooking with it because it's really nice. And this isn't the kind of frosting or icing that you use to ice cakes with. This is more like a icing that you use to just decorate cookies and that sort of thing with. And we're going to make it a consistency where it's just like it's going to be a permanent decoration. So it's going to dry hard as a rock. Oh, that's just me. Hush, 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 hush. That's just me. She thinks somebody knocked on the door. Sorry. Shh. Go lay down. See how she sasses me? I told her to be quiet. She's still over there wolfing. I need to get a paper towel and set this on. Also what I did is I got out one of my ugly cutting boards that I rarely use, I put some parchment paper on it so that I can pick it up after I put my decorations on it, and I can move it out of the way so that I don't ruin the decorations. And I'm gonna glue it down so it doesn't move around. So after we do this part, it says to stop the mixer and scrape down the sides of the bowl, and then restart the mixer and beat the mixture on medium speed until very thick, shiny, stiff, and white. This should take about 7 to 10 minutes, and then check the texture to ensure that it's suitable for your needs. If you require stiffer icing, add a little more powdered sugar at this point. So everything that I'm using this particular icing for needs to be stiff so that they hold their shape, because I'm going to be making flowers. I'm going to do some little flowers and the leaves, and then the border I'm going to do like a shell border on the sides so you don't see where I glued it together, as well as around the little window. Now it doesn't necessarily need to be stiff for when I'm doing the inside of it for the decorations, but it's still going to be my glue. So, for me, for what I'm making, it needs to be a stiff consistency. Now, if I don't need a stiff consistency, I would need a stiff consistency to do like an outline for designs on cookies, but not as stiff as I need it for this. So I wouldn't add any more powdered sugar probably to this finished product. And if I need it thinner, like to flood a design, like for, let's say, a stocking, a cookie that's shaped like a stocking, or the pants, or the little skirt for gingerbread, men and women, I would want that to be a thin consistency. Plus, you don't want it to be so hard that you can't bite into it. And the kind of icing that I'm making it's not designed to be edible, so it will be rock hard. And I'm not going to bang on the counter because I don't want to bite. I hear you painting to think that I need to go to the door and answer the door. So we got about 1 more minute. And it's already kind of shiny. And it's already holding the shapes of the beaters. And we're using the whisk attachment for this icing. The difference between icing and frosting is icing is something you would use like for decorations, and frosting is what you use to frost a cake with. So now we need it to be on medium, and this has 12 speeds on it. So I'm going to push it up to 6. I'm supposed to scrape down the bowl. And this seemed to me to be another drawback of the KitchenAid, is that I can't do this part while the mixer is running, and where I can with this. Not supposed to, but I do, because I'm not like sticking it in the middle there. Alright, and we're going to do this for 7 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10 minutes, and if it looks like it's very thick, shiny, stiff, and white, then I'll turn it off. So here we go. I'm going to make sure I get all that powdered sugar off of the sides. I don't want it like pooling or stuck to the sides there. So this is one of those bomb things. Don't do this at home. Just because you saw me do it doesn't mean you should be doing it, because I probably shouldn't be doing it. Alright, now I'll wash my hands. Get that stuff off. I've already washed these, then I'm going to be making color in. I use these a lot for like my lunches, or chicken or tuna salad, something like that. They make nice individual containers. That's another thing I like about the Black & Decker is, you notice it's not really noisy. Even when I turn it all the way up to high, it's not noisy like that hand mixer is. The lights just flashed. I wonder if that's why the camera stopped a few minutes ago. I didn't notice that the lights had flickered a little. Now, if you want to dye this just one color, you can add the color at the end of the mixing while it's still in the bowl. But I'm going to divide it up so I can, I'm going to make yellow, pink, and purple flowers and some green leaves. So I'm going to do 4 colors. And I've already washed my spoons. Make sure that they are grease-free. I've already taken care of that too. Remember what I said, everything that touches royal icing has to be grease and oil free. I even soaked my tips, like for my flowers and my leaves and for my little flower centers. I've already soaked those in hot soapy water. Use something that's made for removing grease like Dawn or something like that. Oh, it's thickening up now. Not shiny yet though. I'll take a picture. We're about halfway through the second part. Well, not quite halfway through. About a quarter of the way through the second part of the mixing. So I did take a picture for you after I cut off these little pieces at the ends. They're not quite ready to work with. Like I said, for 2 hours, it could be up to 4, depending on how much humidity you have, you know, in your home or like I said, I wouldn't do these on a day where it's raining outside, or it's gonna be rainy, or if it's a day that's got a lot of humidity, I would wait until a better day. So we're at 6 minutes now, so we're getting there. So to make flowers and borders, which is what we're going to be using this for, with royal icing, the icing has to form stiff peaks, which means if you dip a spoon or your spatula in there and you pull it up, it stands straight up and it holds. Medium peaks is pulled. It's getting thicker, so it's starting to get noisy now. So medium peaks are, it pulls up and it just tips over at the top. So we'll tip over at the top. And soft peaks pull up and immediately flop over. Got about 5 minutes left now. starting to hold its shape now. Alright, that's good. I'm going to use this to divvy it up, so I'm going to go ahead and push this off into the bowl. Good. And I went ahead and washed this other Pampered Chef mixing bowl so I could put the extra white frosting that I'm going to use to glue them together. And for the border, because I want the border to be white. And also to make sure my decorations stick on the inside too. We have about 3 minutes left. So I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but this is the first time that I'm doing this. I wanted to do it for a really long time, but I really didn't have space to do it. I had space in my house, but I didn't have the molds then, so I didn't order the molds until the last place I lived in after my house, and we really didn't have any kind of space at all to do anything like this there. I just happened to remember the other day that I have these, and I was trying to think of something to do for a video since we have Easter coming up, and I know a lot of people celebrate, a lot of people don't, but you know, some of the stuff is stuff you can just make for yourself just because you like it. I mean, a lot of times there's stuff that I make just because I like making it, just because I like it, or I know somebody likes it. You know, somebody's birthday's coming up or something, you know they like something, you can just make it. And who doesn't like marshmallows? I mean, seriously. Summer's coming up, camping, you know, you can make some marshmallows and make some s'mores to go. And basically what you do is you make your marshmallows and you go ahead and you cut them up, and then you get some little snack-sized bags and put your graham crackers, put your chocolate, and put your marshmallows and your other graham cracker in there, and then just make several of those up, so one night while you're on your camping trip, that can be your treat. And you guys are bored, sitting around, you're like, oh, what can we do? Well, let's make s'mores. And you've already put it all together. There you go. So we got about a minute left. Thick, shiny, stiff, white. And I don't think I'm going to have to add any extra powdered sugar at this point. I mean, it really looks like it's going to stand up for what I need, because that little tiny peak right there has not gone down since, and it's really holding together. So I think it's going to be plenty thick enough for what I'm using it for. So I'm not going to add any more powdered sugar to it. Maybe if it was a little more humid today than it normally is, I might need to. But yeah, sure, that is plenty thick enough. I think it's white. I pull it up and it stands straight up. It doesn't even go back down. So I'm gonna take a picture right quick. It looks almost iridescent. Pretty. Alrighty. So I'm going to try to get all this off of here. Of course, turn this off. Remember me telling you that I whipped my hand through the beaters one time? Yeah, because that was still on. It was not unplugged. Yeah, so it whipped my hand. It caught me by surprise. I was like shocked that it had happened. I was like, whoa, okay, so that was kind of crazy. It chewed out my hand. Yeah, so make sure your stuff is off. or unplugged or something. One of these small ones. Get that out of there. It smells good too. That's one thing I like about royal icing is I love the way it smells when it's done. I have a really good nose because of my hearing impairment, so I can usually smell stuff that other people can't. It smells almost cotton candy-ish to me. Alright, so I'm not going to mess with that anymore. Alright, let me get my spoon out of there. Alrighty. So, I'm not going to need a whole lot for the leaves. So I'll just do maybe a tablespoon or two for the leaves. Set it over there. I'm getting icing everywhere. And I'll just do like a few of each color flower. So maybe a tablespoon. I probably put more than I should have for the leaves. So I'll make that the leaves. I'll make that one of the flowers. So about 2 tablespoons, I guess. This has raw egg in it, so I am not going to lick that off my finger. Remember I told you guys don't eat raw egg. Don't lick the beaters if it's got raw egg in it. So I don't think it's not going to take much for each one of these colors. That in there. I have one last one. So I'm going to do pink, yellow, purple flowers. This is probably way more than I need. I know it is. I know this is way more than I need for any of this stuff. Alrighty. Now I'm going to take the rest of it. Put that off my finger. Take the rest of it and I'm going to put it in this bowl because it has a top. Be very, very careful. Get this all out of here because this is our egg cement and our egg decorations. And I'll also use some of this just for, I think I'll get some of that out of there for the middle of the flowers, the little centers of the flowers. Alright, so I think we got all of that we can get out of it. I'll move this and put this lid on it. It's nice and airtight. Set that over there. Go ahead. Unplug this bad boy. Oh, no, actually I shouldn't have. I need that for the marshmallows. I'm just being silly now. Alright. Alright, so let's just pretend like I didn't do all that. Alright. Let me grab one more of these. We're going to start playing white for our center. Of our flowers. Just going to steal a little bit from everybody. Not going to take much. Alright, so need the top. You don't want it to dry out. All the top's over here. Alright, so which one I have the least in it for the leaves? I think this one. Alright. Put this over here for And that will be the last time, today will be the last time that I use this because I'm going to let Joshua have it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's color this. And again, we don't need but just a little tiny bit because we just want a pastel color. So yeah, 4 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't need one for that. Okay, so this is for our leaves. We're just going to do a teeny tiny bit because all we have is just a teeny tiny bit of icing. Just mix it up really well. And again, we're using paste food coloring because we don't want it to make our we don't want to dilute our frosting and thin it out by using a liquid. Just mix that all up really nice and good. This white frosting off of here so it mixes it well. Just a nice pale green is all I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm not going to need the green until I put my flowers and my border on. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture and cover that. Alright. Wash my hands. And the hot water on. If you put hot water in this bowl, it will melt that icing right off. And then all you have to do is just like wash it. Alright. Got chocolate going over there because we're gonna do the little chocolate covered marshmallows next. We'll get those ready for the marshmallows. So put the top back on this because we don't want it to dry out. Let's do yellow next. It's a little too tiny, but I mean seriously, it does not take much at all. Just twirl it around in there. Okay, put the top back on because I'm not going to use it anymore. Roll that around in there really well. Make sure you get it off the bottom, off the sides. Yeah, we got a nice pale yellow. And I'll take a picture of that right quick. Apparently I'm not working fast enough for my phone because it keeps going off. Just set that over there because we're actually going to use that in a second. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do our flowers so that they can dry so that we can handle them. Well, let's do the purple. Again, just a little teeny tiny bit. Just going to dip it down in there. I mean, seriously, just dip it down in there. Run around like that. And put the top on so it'll dry out. Yeah, that's already still. I'm not gonna stir that back into my frosting. It'll ruin it, or my icing. Sorry, it'll ruin it. We'll have this clump that won't come out of our icing bag. And remember, you don't want to go too dark because we're going to dry darker. We're going to dry darker. I might want to make that a little darker, actually. That actually just wasn't quiet enough, so I just do it now. The tops won't go back on when you want it to. Alright, so let's try that. Hopefully that should be dark enough this time. Much better. Like I said, it's going to dry darker. Make sure I get it off on the side. All mixed in really well. Get off the spoon because we don't want just white going into our bag. Just like that. Remember, it'll dry darker. I'll put the purple and the purple on the yellow and the yellow on the purple and then the pink on both. Whoops. I got color on the camera. Gotta get that off before it stains. And if you do get it on the counter, you can just, bleach will take it off. Hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer, take it right off, get it off your hands. It'll take off permanent colors too. Permanent marker. You put it on a whiteboard. Yeah, if you just use hand sanitizer or a white box. Alright, so this one hasn't been opened yet. Get a handy dandy little knife over here. Oops. It's still in the sink. Darn it. Use a different one. Hopefully I won't get color on this one. I'm getting this up all over. I'll enjoy the cake decorating. So we're just using a little tiny bit. Because it's springtime, so we want pastel colors. Close that one back up, just in case I have to hit more like I did the purple. That's a pretty color. Write this down. Make sure it's all mixed in good. Or mixed in well, I should say. Joshua probably cringes every time I say good and when I should be saying well. Alright. Pink. Take a picture. Put the top back on so it don't dry out. Put those back in the boxes. Put them over here out of the way. Alright, so wash your hands one last time. Grab a paper towel. So I don't want to wipe. I might have color on my hands, so I don't want to wipe it on my kitchen towel. Got some hand sanitizer. Oh, I'm just squirting that everywhere. I'll take it off. Okay. With this, because we don't want to get that on us. Get that everywhere. Make sure you wipe down the color off the counter. And now we're going to make our flowers. So we need to get this stuff into a decorating bag before it dries out. And I'm actually going to cover these up so they don't dry out while I'm working. So I'm going to put those in there. I'm going to do the yellow first. So all we need are just small these are disposable decorating bags, so I don't care, just throw them away. I'm going to need 3, so get out 3, put that one back in the box. And what we're going to do, we're going to use the flour. And this is tip number 106. It's got a little curly Q on it. Let's see if I can get a picture of it. So that when it squishes out the tip, it makes the little flower. And then it leaves a center. I'm going to cut off just a little bit of this tip. So we can get this down in there. That's better. Cut off enough, so we'll back it up a little bit. Cut off a little bit more. I'd say, I don't know, start with a ½ inch. Because again, this is one of those things, you can do more, but you can't do less. Right, just till the tip pops out. Just like so. But if you cut it too big, then the icing will start squishing out on the sides. And roll it way down. I'll move these over here so you can see what I'm doing. Put my icing in there. Maybe just a little at a time so it doesn't make a big mess. Like so. And my suggestion is always to make more than you think you're going to need flour-wise, because then if you accidentally break any, then you have extras. It's better to have extras. And actually, these, they'll be small enough, you just pop them in your mouth and let them melt on your tongue. And we're going to squish that down. I don't need the spoon anymore. We're going to squish that down. So it starts coming out. And then we're going to twist it. Alright. So So now, when you're making flowers, okay, I'm back. So I just switched it to a number 96, and I know I gotta hold the paper down. I'm just gonna gently press and pull it. Gently press and pull it. Gently press and pull it. Squish it down. That should be plenty. A couple of them are kind of messed up, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm gonna rinse this off with some hot water so I can do my next colors. I don't need that color anymore. Let's do the pink next. These haven't touched any oil, so I can continue to use them. I'm just rinsing them off with hot water. In between, roll this down. It's wet. Do pink next. And I'm just using my finger and on the outside of the bag to push the frosting or icing down into the bag off the spoon. Alright. It's been a while since I've done flowers, so they don't look too hot right now. Alright. Pretty enough. I'm going to put the centers in them. Push it down to the tip. Twist. And remember, make extras because some of them don't turn out too good. I'll hold this down and gently press and lift. Gently press and lift. Gently press and lift. Straight down and up. Straight down and up. Like I said, I don't think we're going to need this many flowers, and that's okay. Don't need this anymore, but I do need the tip. I'm going to go ahead and turn the hot water back on so I can rinse the tip out. Just cut this off with scissors. Let's throw the whole thing away. Just press it right out. Hot water melts that icing straight away. Alright, now we're going to do the purple. I keep hiding the scissors from myself. It's like, where's Waldo? We're playing Where's Waldo with the scissors. And we need a spoon again. Oh, I keep throwing it in there. I just keep throwing it down in there. Alrighty. Got my hand off. Dry that spoon off. Don't need that. Alright. Let's do the next color. Just go down in there. And did I tell you I'm using a 96? Yeah, I'm using a 96. Those flowers look kind of sad. It's been a while since I've done any cake decorating, and it is obvious that it's been a while since I've done any cake decorating. I don't really do a lot of stuff with flowers on my cakes anyway. Most of them are just pictures that I did from like comic books and stuff that people had asked me to do, logos and that sort of thing. Alrighty. Let's put this down. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. Hope you'll start cooking along with me. Trying to think of what dinner dish I can make next time. Let's push that out a little bit. Make sure it's down. And once again, down and straight up. Down and straight up. Down and straight up. Down and straight up. They look kind of like stars until I put those centers in them. And if you wanted to just use them this way, you could. We're just going to give it that extra touch, a little center. Just a plain white center. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. So, I'm probably not even going to need that many, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Because these are not reusable bags, they're disposables. I'm not going to use that anymore. This is the one I tried the first time and didn't like. I might be able to get it off of there. Usually I can just push it right out. My hands are sticky from the icing. I might just throw the whole thing in the water and just let it soak out. Oh, there we go. All right. Maybe. You just don't know. Anyway, if you like what you see today, remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Please be nice. One more bag for the white, for the centers. Just some hot water. And for this one, we're not just going to like cut the tip off of it because we want to be a little more precise than that when we do the centers of these flowers. So I'm going to use a number 6, which is just like for drawing lines, dots, and that sort of thing. And we're going to bring our white over here. Cut off a little bit of that tip. Well, a couple of those are real sad. I need to practice more. Roll down, roll down, roll down. I don't have very much on here, so I'm just going to grab it all out, stick it down in there. Alright, so now, let's take a picture right quick so you can see my sad little flowers. What we're going to do, we're just going to put just like a little bitty dot in the center of each one of these little stars to turn them into flowers. I've got to squish this down first. Alright, and again we're gonna do a down and up motion. Okay. We're just gonna, or stars or something like that you're gonna take off. I'm gonna glue it down. So I'm gonna glue it down. See, it's my crummy little cutting board. I don't use it for anything except for stuff like this. Alright, so we're just going to stick that down like that. Alright, make sure it's nice and smooth. So when you're doing flowers and that sort of thing, you want to hold your bag straight up and down. You want to touch the tip to the surface, squeeze gently, and pull up. And you can do this with a star tip too. So you would press down, begin to squeeze, and twist. Or twist, whichever. For me, I'm right-handed, so I would twist this way. So I'm going to just make some little flowers and just press. See? It's got to stay down. Just pull straight up. Straight up. Straight up. I'm probably not going to eat this many. I'm just messing up my flowers because it's not staying down. and I don't really like those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch bags. So if you give me switch tips. So if you give me a second, I gotta get it out of my decorator box. So hold on one second. I'll be right back. I don't really like those flowers, so I'm going to do it with the star tip. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. You want to do these before they dry, because they're already drying. Because it's royal icing. Royal icing dries pretty quick. To get little points on them, I'm going to show you how to fix that. Just do a little tiny dab in the center. So we turn our stars into flowers. Okay, so remember our pen, or a paintbrush. So just gonna tap, 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 tap. Any of them that have a little point on them. Or you can dip your finger in cornstarch and you can pat it down. And that way it doesn't stick to your finger. And you pat it down. Just flatten your little points. Just lightly touch it. Slightly down, slightly down. Alright. I'm gonna do one in there. Maybe I'll just do one in there because I'll just like, I could probably use that on the side or something. Like so. Alrighty. Just like that. Little point there. Tap that down. I'll take a picture for you right quick. Right. So now we're going to take these, we're going to move them over here out of the way, and we're going to let it go. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up from that part of the video so that we can do the marshmallows. So I will be back shortly. So remember, if you like what you see today, to like, subscribe, share, comment, be nice, and I'll see you soon.